Hello, hello, hello. So I am just wrapping up with my lovely Lou. We have been working together over the last couple of months doing a done with you market research. So, Lou, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hi, I'm Lou. I am a coach and also I do like card readings and stuff like that as well. Lulu, the woo woo guru, as I'm currently being touted, apparently. Yeah, hi.
Hi. So you and I have been connected for a while, and if anyone has been following me for a while, we've done a couple of lives together. And I think one of the things that came up was a lack of clarity for you. So first of all, why don't you address why you decided to work with me in the first place?
Okay, so obviously I absolutely adore you, so that's always useful. But it's really the content that you put out, the free stuff that you put out is absolutely incredible. And I'm always like, hang on, your every word. And I thought, well, you know what, if I'm getting this much out of like just kind of being in your like orbit, then absolutely gonna need to work with you because I was struggling with a few things myself. And then I think particularly with the market research stuff, I was like, oh my God, I need that. I need that desperately. And I didn't even realize I needed it until you brought it to my attention, as you do all the time, like these incredibly insightful golden nuggets of things that after you've said it, I go, oh my God, that's so obvious. But until you pointed it out, I wasn't aware of it. And that for me is hugely valuable, hugely valuable. So yeah, so that's, I suppose, the reason why I was like, yeah, me, hello.
Yes, and in our conversations, you had told me that you have done market research, right? Like you've even hired someone to do market research for you. So tell me what was different about this process.
Okay, what was different before? It was just a case of, so I've done the ideal client avatar about 300 times, and I've got some market research done for me, asking different questions, about my target market and everything else. And then here's the information, and I'm like, oh, cool. Now what? Do you know what I mean? So it was really about how, I suppose, what I'm asking, why I'm asking it, and then what do I do with the information once I've got it? How do I then use that information to build either my product or build out like my messaging, in my marketing, or really anything. Like, what do I do? It's all very well having knowledge, but then what do you do with that knowledge? And without taking action on any knowledge is a bit bloody useless, isn't it? So with this process, I think our first call, I was like, oh my God, straight away. I just had so much, I was like, mind blown. And yeah, the clarity that I got off that first call, and that was only sort of just a kind of I don't know, a bit of an introductory call, wasn't it, really, more than anything? And I walked away from that like, yeah, that's brilliant, that'll do in itself. Do you know what I mean? The questions that you provided for me, obviously, like, I had to provide you with quite a bit of information, which was great because that got me thinking about things that I hadn't thought about before. So in doing that process, that was really useful for me. And then the questions that you gave me to ask people, and the scripts that you gave me to post out to get people to agree to doing market research with me, absolutely fantastic. And what I found was, it was, every question that I asked people, there was a whole conversation around it. There weren't quick answers. There were no quick answers. And the more in depth, obviously, being a coach, and as most of your clients are coaches, if not all, we have a tendency to want to go in a bit further and a bit deeper and explore a bit more. So these were great questions on their own, but they opened up a dialogue where we actually went even deeper and deeper and deeper. And like some of the calls lasted like 2 hours because I couldn't stop. And then it was making me think about the answers that I would provide. And I was finding it easier and easier to relate to those people from just having those I was going to say brief conversations, but conversations with those people. So that was absolutely fantastic. And then obviously today we've had a call where you've gone through and had a look at those videos that I've done with my ideal clients and stuff. And I'd already got a list of kind of information that I'd gleaned, plus I'd kind of sorted it all out into headers as well. I was like, this is their kind of like, these are their pain points or whatever. This is what they need. This is what they want, like, and sort of sectioned it out a bit. But you then on our call have just provided me with loads more stuff I hadn't even occurred to me. So I was just like, oh, what? Do you know what I mean? And I think like one of the things I wanted to sort of highlight is that there are so many coaches out in the world who are, I'm sure, very fantastic, but they'll say things like, you need to get clarity. All right, cool. Like, how do I do that? Why? How do I do it? what, and what you do differently is you actually, especially in this process where we're kind of like, working, as you say, it's a done with you process. It's not just like, oh, you need to tell your story in your marketing. You're literally highlighting exactly what bits of the story I should be referring to in order for that to relate back to my ideal client, and how that's going to have a positive impact on what it is that I'm going out and doing. And that to me is absolute gold dust, because you just don't get that with people. It's either people like coaches trying to tell you you've got to do it this way, or vague, in my opinion, just very, very vague. There's no kind of like explicit instruction or bespoke, connection to you and your own business. What you've done completely differently to other people is honed right in on my business and given me ideas that are better than my own. So I'm like, I'm in love, mate. I love it.
I you make me laugh every time. But what I'm really impressed by is the level of clarity that you've gotten over this short period of time. Like, you really leaned into the process, and like you have been completely open to considering things that you hadn't considered before. And sometimes we're so married to the idea of how we want to show up and how we want to serve, and that is the disconnect between us and our ideal clients. Like, our business, and I say this all the time, our business is not about us. Like, I don't care what you want. If you want to be successful in your business, of course you have to take aligned action. You can't be out here doing anything, but you have to focus on your ideal client. And if we're focused on understanding where they shop and what they eat, and the very surface level detail that a lot of people go into when they do market research, we are missing huge opportunities. And I think what you've learned, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, is there is a lot of opportunity for you and your ideal client, right? And it didn't come from just grazing the surface. It came from really going deep, and digging into why they said what they said, right? Like, just not staying at the surface. But I want to hear it in your own words. Like, what was your biggest takeaway from this process?
Well, I think the whole thing, I can't pinpoint one exact thing. I think, well, probably the clarity, because it's not, and the fact that it's transcended into other areas. So even down to the last week, me completely changing what it is that I want, or that I want to offer, because I realised it wasn't aligned with me. And so the whole process is not just giving me clarity in terms of my ideal client and the like offer creation, but also my ultimate goal, like what it is that I personally, how I want my business to operate. What does it look like? Where is my zone of genius in terms of connecting with that target audience? Not every product is going to be right for the same people. And when it comes to meeting your clients, where they're at, it's no good then offering them something that's like way too advanced for them, or something that they're way beyond. You've got to really hit the nail on the head. And I think that's exactly what we've done. And I'm like absolutely overjoyed, and I cannot wait to really sit down and just thrash this all out, watch our callback, get everything down on paper, and then just thrash out some really, really good, some ideas, and just structure stuff and get it all together, because it's just like, I don't know, my little mind is blown.
Oh, I'm here for the mind blowing.
Yeah, why not?
I love it. So why don't you share what it is like actually working with me?
Amazing. Because obviously you're very, very approachable, but you're also absolutely no bullshit, no fluff, which is something that, again, is sometimes rare in the coaching world. You get people that say they're no bullshit, but actually that's just how they want to present themselves, and actually they are full of shit. So, but you're not at all. You've got, like, the thing is you absolutely over deliver on what you promise, which is, it's extraordinary. But yeah, I really like the fact that you're so open to, like, I don't know, you've got this, like, I don't know, like this analysis brain where when we're talking and we're kind of like throwing ideas around and brainstorming, everything that I say, you sort of run it through this analysis machine in your brain and then come out with something that's absolutely brilliant. And I'm like, oh, like, write that down, lovely. And you've got there's like no barrier to what, like how much you're willing to sort of offer and share and say, yeah, you should be doing this, or, oh, what a good idea would this be? And I think that that's fantastic as well. Like I can tell you're fully invested in the process, and that really means a hell of a lot to me, because there's a lot of coaches out there, and you can just feel them wanting to get off the call, or they're not really taking on board what it is that you're saying. They're just sort of either yes people, or they want you to change exactly, you know, who you are fundamentally as a person in order for your to I don't know, do things their way or whatever it may be. And I think that, you know, your approach is refreshing more than anything. And yeah, and it's you know, you're bold and direct and very, very caring and nurturing at the same time. And I love that. That's absolutely a bit of me, that is, because that's what I'm like, I suppose. There's that connection as well. But yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I adore working with you. I adore just being in your orbit, mate.
I love it, Lou. So for that person who has been on the fence with working with me, they've seen me talk about this market research, what do you say to them?
I would get off the bloody fence. Because this is not a leap of faith at all. This isn't something where you sort of think, oh, well, go on, I'll give it a punt. It's absolutely, you will get clarity, number one. And not, I can't even describe the level of clarity. It's not just like, oh, that makes sense. It's like, oh my God, I know what I need to do. And that to me is I mean, it's unreal. There's people out there that probably are like that, and well done to you for being that. But there's a lot of us out there that we're just trying to suss this stuff out, and we're trying to really provide value to our ideal client. We want to serve the right people who need it, and we want to be offering the thing that we love and that we're passionate about. Marrying all that together is the key to creating shit that sells, right? And then also in terms of the marketing, the messaging and everything else, when you've got all of those components working together, you're going to love your business, you're going to be selling your product or your service or whatever it may be, and everyone's happy. You know, you're showing up authentically, you're showing up, you're serving the right people, they're benefiting, genuinely benefiting from it, they're getting value from you, you're going to be on cloud nine because you're providing that value, all of those things. What more do you need? Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, that for me is just, it's not as simple. I think it's not just market research. This is not like that term. I think it puts people off a little bit because of the generic, stereotypical kind of market research and, you know, demographics and all of that nonsense. This is like the deepest dive in terms of understanding who it is that you are serving and how you can best do that whilst also doing the best for yourself. That to me is what you're offering. So for anybody who's on the fence, get off the fence now and absolutely work with you. I can't recommend you like highly enough. You know, I feel like all my words are useless. Everything needs like tenfold everything because it's that's you know, and genuinely as well, like I'm proper excited.
Yeah, there is definitely, and I said this to you the other day on WhatsApp, right? Like your excitement is oozing. Like you are just like really like rejuvenated, like let's get this now, right? And that excites me. That makes me so happy for you. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this process, because a lot of times we get caught up in the demographics and think that that's enough, and then wondering why I can't show up in my full authenticity and serve these people. It's because we just don't go deep enough. And like I'm trying to solve that problem with these services. But Lou, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to see what comes out of the work that we've done together. I'm really excited for you. I'm really excited about the clarity that you've gotten, and I just wish you the absolute best.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get going. Like I just feel you know, when you have this like extreme motivation where I'm like itching to get going on something, and it's like I don't care what I've got booked in or planned. Come clear the desk. This is what I'm doing today because I need to put all this energy and excitement into doing what it is that I'm doing. And yeah, I can't thank you enough. It's amazing. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. You're welcome. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.